Well, listeners, welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, I think I have found one of the albums of the year. Cobra Spell's brand new album, 666, is an absolutely amazing album. I've been listening to it for over the last week, and I've got to say, this has absolutely blown me away. So to tell us a little bit more about this album, we've actually got Sonia on the phone. Welcome to the program, Sonia.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I'm very excited to release the debut album of Cobra Spell, 666. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's definitely a time machine to the 80s when you're listening to it. It features faster songs, but also more groovier songs, more sleazy songs. We are reaching different styles of the 80s rock sound. And yeah, this is purely out of our passion from the 80s.
Definitely.
And yeah.
Sonia, I have to say too, you've got such an amazing lineup in the band as well at the moment. Tell us a little bit about how this current lineup has formed to give Cobra Spell such an amazing sound.
All right, so Cobra Spell since the very beginning has evolutioned quite a lot. And it became the band that we are right now, which is a all-female formation and mainly based in Spain, so in Europe. And as the band started growing a lot and we signed with Napalm Records, we needed to work with a band that we all have the same dream and we share the same passions. And this is the case with all of us. You know, there is a spirit of teamwork. The girls are extremely talented. Christina on the vocals. We have Ale on the drums. We have Roxy on the bass. And we have Noelle on the guitars. And myself also on the guitars. And it's a 5-piece. And we're extremely excited to play the new songs together. And on stage it's magic.
It was such a big step for you to step away from the bands that you'd been with in the past in 2019 to form Cobra Spell. Tell us a little bit about that journey. What was that like for you to go from a successful career and suddenly start forming your own band, and then of course going straight into a pandemic as well?
Well, Cobra Spell was kind of founded while I was being an active member of my previous bands. Cobra Spell was seen more of as a side project, and I didn't take it that seriously as I did take my other bands that seriously. I took them a lot more seriously. It was my priorities, of course, and I was not able to fully commit to everything. That would be way too much for me. And it was a fantastic time to be part of such big bands and tour around the world and release awesome albums and also build up a lot of experience. Though I had a little dream when I was a little kid that I wanted to start a 80s glam rock band. And this is something that I needed to pursue, you know, for my own happiness, for my own fulfillment. I needed to really start listening to the little voice in my head telling me, hey, you have that little childhood dream that you should put into action. And this is how Cobra Spell kind of arose. And as I saw that many people were really enjoying our two first EPs, because we released two EPs, Love Venom and Anthems of the Night. These ones were received very well by the audience, and that surprised me quite a lot. And as I saw that the band was growing while I was in the other bands, I asked myself, what is really making me happy at this moment? And it was to put my energy in Cobra Spell. So that led to my decisions to depart from my previous bands and fully commit to what is my dream with Cobra Spell.
Did the pandemic cause problems for you at that time, or did it actually mean that you got more time to work on the music that you wanted to do for Cobra Spell?
To be honest, it was a great time to be in my room and write music. I'm someone that enjoys composing music in my own place, in my own home, in my own time. And the pandemic was an excellent time for that because, of course, you're a lot at home, and I don't mind because I'm not a person that goes out a lot. I like my personal time, and yeah, I definitely spend a lot of time crafting new music, and yeah, maybe some of the ideas were part of this new album.
Definitely. So we love talking on this show about where our love for heavy music comes from and what started us out on that journey. This album is such a homage to 80s hard rock and glam rock. Where did your love for the 80s music come from? Can you tell us a little bit about where that love came from?
Well, this is something that I discovered on my own, as I didn't have any friends or family members that were listening to this style. So this is something that I kind of seeked on my own through the internet. Of course, because I'm not born in the 80s. I'm a lot. I was born a lot later, and well, the internet gave me a way to discover the world of rock and roll. And the first band that really got me totally obsessed was Kiss. I'm a huge Kiss fan. I started listening to the whole discography. I was 14 years old. I started, memorizing all those lyrics, and I was completely obsessed. I was a big fan, and it really inspired me to start playing that music too, and learning the bass guitar, because I started as a bass player. And from there, I discovered other more shock rock styled bands like Alice Cooper, Wasp, and from there it started also getting a little bit more faster and more metal, and I started getting into thrash metal and black metal and death metal even. So yeah, I really enjoyed discovering new new bands in that style. But my passion has always been mainly on the 80s.
Yeah. You talked a little bit earlier about the catchiness and this album being faster than what you've done previously. Was that something that you all talked about before you went into the studio?
Well, it's something that in my mind, I always want to do it better every time, and doesn't mean that faster means better, but I like to challenge myself and see if I can do something that I haven't done before. And writing new music is a chance for me to do that, to challenge myself. So if I can write a song that is in a certain structure, or if I can write a song in a certain beats per minute, and this album features definitely a lot of challenges, such as I wrote a song that is a lot more groovy, one that reminds me a lot to Rat. Um, it's kind of abstract challenges that I take to myself to pay homage to a certain band that I enjoy, or a certain speed that I want to reach, or maybe a certain amount of guitar solos that I want to fill in. It's just little goals, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that is kind of pushed. It's something that I do out of, that could be exciting. That could sound awesome. And yeah, then for the next album, I'm already thinking about new opportunities and new challenges. And I have to say, every time it becomes a little bit harder, but I like that because it keeps you going. It keeps you going, and you just get better as a musician in the studio when you have to record that stuff yourself. When you play all those guitar tracks and nail it to every single note and be on the beat, and it's truly exciting to record it and see it take shape. Those initial demo ideas, if you know what I mean. So I'm very proud about this album for sure.
I love how with this album you never know what you're going to hear next. I mean, you'll be listening to a track and then all of a sudden there's a saxophone solo like what happens in Love Equals Love. Was that the kind of thing that you were hoping to achieve, like those surprises that the listeners wouldn't see coming?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't looking, I wasn't planning those surprises. Certainly that one. I honestly was just really following my intuition and feeling when it comes to when I write the music, and when I hear something production-wise, such as when I hear a certain lead or a certain solo or a certain melody or a certain vocal idea, for example, and because I am a lot behind the production of this album, it's very spontaneous. It's something that I hear all of a sudden, and it was this case with the saxophone on Love Equals Love, and this is an idea that arose while recording the song at the recording studio. It was a very spontaneous idea because I was planning to do a guitar solo on there, and at the end I thought, actually it would be much more epic to add a saxophone solo, though none of us plays the saxophone, so we had to find a session musician that plays the saxophone, and our producer Alejandro Gabasa, he had the right contacts. He has a lot of friends around there in Madrid, and he had the right person. So a saxophonist Nata Estevez, a jazz musician, not really a heavy metal musician, but more of a jazz musician, and he recorded a beautiful improvised saxophone solo on there, and I think it was a fantastic choice. Since this song Love Equals Love is more AOR sounding, adult oriented rock sounding, it's more melodic, it has a lot of synthesizer. I thought a saxophone solo would give it that epic 80s movie track mood.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's totally where we wanted to go, for sure.
And what about the lyrics? Where do the lyrics come from? Because I found this was such a catchy album. By about the second or third time I was singing along to it, I found.
So the lyrics of the album overall vary into being a black sheep in a certain situation, in a certain family-related situation, and being put aside regarding religious matters. But also there is a lot of women empowering lyrics, and there is songs about love in all ways. There is quite some variety in the lyrics of the songs. There's also some love songs, and some songs are a lot more personal, based on my own personal experiences, and some songs are more a little bit more fictional, more like talking about a certain alter ego. A little bit that direction.
Awesome. Well, Sonia, I know we're running out of time very quickly, so before I go, I just wanted to ask, what have you got planned for Cobra Spell in 2024? Are you looking to go on some tours around the world? Are you working on new music? What are the plans for next year?
So right now we are working very hard on getting a lot of concerts booked, and so far we have a Spanish tour planned. We have it announced, and we're working on Europe, and definitely it would be amazing if we can get out of Europe and visit some other continents. I mean, Australia would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's realistic at this moment because it's our first album. We are a newcomer band. We need to get out there, but hopefully sometime in the future we can reach you guys.
That would be absolutely amazing. And I guess to finish off, what would you like to say to people who are about to sit down and listen to 666 for the first time?
So buckle up in your time machine, because you're going back to the 80s when you're listening to this new album. Thank you so much for the support, even all the way on the other side of the world. It's amazing to have this platform that you're giving us on this radio show to promote our music out there. Our album is available on Napalm Records, and you can order it there. And really, really, really appreciate that support, because it allows us to play more, to release more music, and get out there and perform, because that's what we want to do, and give a great show. And we have a lot of amazing ideas for 2024, and so stay tuned to what is coming.